Welcome back to Living Local. There's one bug that's causing quite the stink in our homes this fall. We're talking stink bugs, and they're out in full force, but they're not the only bug invading our homes. Many folks are seeing ladybugs too. And joining us today to tell us how we can get rid of these little pesky insects is Emily Swihart with the Extension. She is an Extension Educator with the Illinois Extension Office. Emily, thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So why are we seeing, I mean, everyone wants to know this. Why are we seeing so many stink bugs this year, this fall?
Yeah, so it's that time of year. You said it's fall, right?
Yeah.
Part of it might just be perception. They are starting to come into our lives in a way they haven't before now in the year because of the cooler temperatures. There might also be an increase in population. We don't really have a good record of that.
Okay.
We do have warmer springs and warmer falls, and so that might allow for more insects to develop throughout their whole life cycle, and so that might increase population a little bit.
Okay.
But I think most of it is that we are just encountering them in places we don't want to encounter them.
Yes,
now,
for
and
sure.
so we think there's more of them in our landscape than there maybe was in previous years.
Okay, but are they usually a little more common in the fall than maybe like spring or summer?
So if you're a gardener, you will have seen them most of the year.
Okay.
And so yeah, so the insects right now are coming into our homes because they're looking to overwinter, and so that's why we're seeing them, you know, in higher numbers. But they lay their eggs in the spring on plant material, and they'll go through here in northern Illinois about one life cycle. Sometimes there's two populations in like southern parts of our state. So they're present in our landscape throughout the year. We're just seeing the adults, which are larger, and they're in our homes.
Gotcha. Now, they're called stink bugs because they stink, but why do they stink?
Yeah, so they're not native to Illinois or to the United States, and so in their native range, this is a defense mechanism. They don't want to be eaten, and so they emit this chemical, this fragrance that is
awful.
A deterrent. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a deterrent for being consumed by predators. And
Are they harmful?
They're not to us. No,
they just stink.
Just a nuisance. Yeah, they stink.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we get rid of them? That's the big question, right?
Yes. Well, okay, so first, prevention is the best method, right? We want to prevent them from getting into our homes. And so, like I said, they're looking for a warmer place to overwinter. And so sealing up your home would be better than letting them come in the first place. Then once they're in, they're not probably going to find their way out. So vacuum is the best one, or sweep them up. Try not to smash them because they do stink.
Yes.
Yep. And insecticides don't really work that well, and we don't want to be kind of blanketing insecticides throughout our homes. And so, not our first line of defense.
Okay. Okay. Anything natural that you know of? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Anything, you know, I hear, you know, people use Dawn and vinegar and all kinds of things. Okay.
Yep, you can drown them, and if you put them in like a bucket of water, you would add some soap just to break that surface tension. That's what that would do, like in soapy water. So then they would drown. You can do that.
Okay.
Or vacuum them up. If you're vacuuming them, you could use like a pantyhose on, like rubber band it to the hose, and that will capture them instead of them going into your vacuum.
Yes, because we talked about this before the segment. You know, my kids can't stand them, so they get the vacuum, which is great. They're doing it themselves, but then they don't empty the vacuum. So then when I'm out there, you know, vacuuming the floor, I'm like, what is that smell? It's because they didn't empty the vacuum. Yeah, they can really cause a stink for sure. All right, another nuisance, ladybugs.
Yep.
Why are we seeing ladybugs this time of year too?
Kind of the same reasons.
Okay.
Yep. They're also trying to overwinter in our homes in their native habitat. So they are what we are calling ladybugs. There's kind of two different ones. We have a native ladybug, which are smaller, more pinkish reddish, and have 6 spots on them. Okay. What we're seeing in our homes right now are what we commonly refer to as the multicolored Asian lady beetle. They're round, they're much more round, and they are have more spots, and there's more variability to how they look. Okay. But they overwinter in cracks and crevices of like rock faces in their native ranges. We don't have a lot of rock faces, so our homes kind of serve that purpose. So they're congregating on our homes and sometimes sneak in. Okay. And there's several different names for them too. Some people call them Halloween beetles, right? Yeah. They're all common names, and so like there's Halloween beetle, which I think probably references like some of the orangish color, and the time of year that they start congregating. Harlequin ladybird beetles, multicolored Asian lady beetles, like there's different names.
And are they harmful? Can they bite?
They can. There have been reports of them biting. They're not necessarily harmful unless you have a reaction to that bite. But they won't break skin. They're not
It's more of like a little pinch,
It
right?
is, yeah. Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But unless you react to it, it's kind of one and done. But
And the same with stink bugs. Are they just more common maybe in the fall, or is it spring?
yeah,
Or we're just used to seeing them in the fall?
yeah, it's the same thing. Like they overwinter and then lay
Okay.
eggs in the spring. So they are more common in the winter because of our shorter day length and the drop in temperature. They're moving out of the landscape and into a place where they can overwinter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And the best way to get rid of them?
Kind of the same thing. Exclusion, like sealing up your house, like making sure cracks and crevices are sealed, like door frames or window frames.
Yeah.
You know, taking that precaution next year. It's a little bit late for that right now.
Okay.
But do that on the to-do list next year.
Yes.
But once they're in, they're not going to reproduce. They're not. They will die eventually because they don't
Yeah.
have a food source.
Right.
And so vacuum them up, sweep them up. You know, remove them from the bathroom, kitchen,
Yeah.
wherever you have them.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
some great tips. Learned a lot today. Emily, thank you so much for coming in to
My
talk to
pleasure.
us. All right. And for more information, you can go to extension.illinois.edu/HMRS. And we'll also have all those details posted on our quadcities.com. More Living Local continues after the break. Stay with us.